What's up, everyone? Hope you're all doing well, that your weekend's off to a great start. Today is day one of the third week of the Erg Endurance Series, and this week's challenge is called I'll Be Watching You, and it is intervals of 3,333 meters, followed by 333 meters, followed by another long 3,333 meters, finishing off with 333 meters, each separated by 3 minutes and 33 seconds. I believe there's religious significance to the number 333, something about angels watching over you, which hopefully means most of us will have a bit of good fortune on this seemingly very difficult session. Now, I think this challenge, more so than either of the first 2 weeks' challenges, really favors the sprint specialists in the field, gives them a massive opportunity to move up the leaderboard by hitting reps 2 and 4 really hard. 333 meters, it'll take fast sprinters anywhere from 50 to 55 seconds to knock those reps out. And we can see, anywhere from maybe 10, 15, 20 people all within a few seconds of each other on those intervals. And each interval is scored. I should have mentioned this earlier. All 4 intervals are scored separately. So unlike last week where there were only 2 scoring opportunities, this week we have 4. Each of those sprint intervals will be very important. And for me, as not a great sprinter, I could lose a lot of ground on reps 2 and 4 if I don't hit those really, really hard. So this workout is going to force me to take some big risks, take some big swings in order to maintain my position on the leaderboard. My strategy, I think, will be to go out the first interval at roughly 5K pace. It won't be easy, but I also shouldn't feel fried after that. The rest breaks are pretty long, so should have a good amount of time to recover. And then I'm gonna hit that first sprint interval really hard. Maybe not 100%, but let's say 95%. I'm gonna try to be really aggressive. And then the third rep, the second 3,333 meter interval, is really a bit of a question mark. And I think that interval is really the crux of this workout, because for some folks who've gone out really, really hard on that first sprint, they're gonna really be feeling it, especially if they're not necessarily endurance specialists. They'll really be feeling the pinch on that third rep. And so I have to hope and believe that my base fitness will be enough to at least allow me to tread water on that rep and not lose too much ground. And then that final rep, that last 333 meters, is just emptying the tank. And we'll see what I have left. Yeah, this workout could really shake the leaderboard up. I'm not competing for the overall competition. I'm really focused on getting a podium finish in the Masters division, the 40 and up. And I know there are a couple folks in the Masters division who are not on the podium right now, who are very, very capable sprinters and who will certainly be gunning for my spot. So, and this week, unfortunately, I don't have the late movers advantage. I won't have an opportunity to reattempt this workout later in the week, because starting Monday, my family and I are going to be out of town on a much needed spring break vacation without access to an erg. So I'll have to get both my attempts for the week done today and tomorrow and just see where they get me. I'll be anxiously watching the leaderboard at different points throughout the week, I'm sure, but I'll just do the best I can. So with that said, let's get into it. right, so immediate reactions. First off, don't forget to cool down. Really important to take a few minutes after any hard workout and just, if you're gonna do it on the erg, just a really light paddle, virtually no pressure. My favorite thing to do is 1,000 or 1,500 meters where I take the feet out, I go feet out, I drop the fan all the way down, the damper to 1, and again, no pressure. I just focus on sitting up tall, getting good compression, breathing, trying to slow the heart rate down. I find that that works really well for me. So I do it pretty much after every hard row. So anyways, back to the matter at hand. So my initial reaction is that is the hardest of the 3 weeks thus far. I think we're gonna see the highest variability in terms of scores this week compared to the last 2 weeks. Because, as I mentioned before, a lot of people, especially the big sprinters, are gonna hit that second interval really hard. That's where they're gonna try to make their move up the leaderboard, and really anything can happen in that third rep, because even though 333 meters is not long, you can still get yourself into heaps of quad melting trouble if you hit that just at 100%. So again, like I said before, it's gonna be a bit of educated guesswork on just how hard you can go on rep 2 while still leaving enough for you to survive rep 3 and not give it all away, because I think rep 3 might be where this workout is lost. We'll see though, I could be totally wrong. With how hard this one was, I honestly don't know if I'm gonna do another attempt tomorrow on Sunday, because I don't know that there are gonna be enough scores coming in the next 24 hours for me to have a better sense of what my strategy should be, right? If I had the luxury of waiting until Wednesday or Thursday, I would almost certainly do a second attempt, but you know, based on limited additional information, I honestly don't know what I would do differently from today, and I was pretty pleased with how this went. You know, if anything, I was a little tentative on that second rep. It's just that even knowing I had to be aggressive, I think that voice in the back of my mind just telling me to be cautious ended up winning out, and I probably didn't post as fast of a second interval as I need to, so I'll likely lose quite a few points there. Rep 3 I was really pleased with. That was really tough. I really had to dig deep for about the middle 1,500 meters on that one. And very, very close to cracking at a couple different points. But once I got to about 1,000 meters left, I was really just fighting to get to the 1K mark in that rep. And I was able to quicken the pace a little bit, thankfully. And yeah, I mean, the last rep is just empty the tank, whatever you got, right? There's not much thinking involved there. Although, like I said before, I do think this workout favors the sprinters more than prior weeks. Endurance and one's ability to recover are still going to play a huge role in how these scores shake out. So I look forward to seeing how everyone does. Obviously, selfishly, I'm hoping I posted a strong score today and that it will stand up to the inevitable assaults that everyone else is going to bring. Just as an aside, I've been really impressed with this competition overall, and I want to give a big shout out to the organizers, Loic and Teresa, for putting on a great competition. It's not just the competition and the challenges themselves, but I think they've done a really, really awesome job of bringing the indoor rowing community together, right? They have their live streams on Sundays where they interview a few of the competitors each week. They've helped facilitate teams getting together for folks who may not have had a team when they signed up for the competition. So it's always great to see the community come together, because anyone who's done this long enough will attest that it can at times be a very lonely and solitary sport. We all have a shared passion for this sport, even though we're spread out around the world. So again, just a huge shout out to Loic and Teresa for their time and effort in putting this together. We'll see if I decide tomorrow morning to give this another go, but if not, I'm pleased with how this went. I will enjoy my few days off from the erg and hopefully come back sharp and ready to go for week 4. So until then, take care of yourselves, keep chasing. Peace.